Hey guys, welcome to Astronomy Highlights for November 2023. As the name suggests, in this video I'll cover the highlights to watch out for this month. While I have listed a full calendar of events in the description covering all the planets, the lunar phases and the usual what to see in the night sky stuff, let's take a look at the best the month has to offer. Jupiter takes center stage early in November. On the evening of November 3rd, the gas giant reaches opposition. This means that it is directly opposite the Sun in its orbit as seen from Earth. During this period, Jupiter will be at its closest to our planet for the entire year, making it an ideal time for observation. Due to the non-circular shape of planetary orbits, this exact closest point for planets in opposition might be different by a day or two, as will be the case for Jupiter this month. Opposition is on November 3rd, but it will physically be at its closest to Earth on the 2nd. Still, for many weeks around opposition, Jupiter is generally at its closest. It will be at its brightest, and more detail can be seen through telescopes due to its increase in apparent size. There are a lot of good transits this month of the Jovian moons across the disk of the planet. If you haven't seen one of these before, now is the perfect time because Jupiter is so close and will be high in the sky for a long period of time at night. Something interesting to take note of when you're observing these transits around opposition is that the shadow of the moon appears to fall almost directly in line with the moon itself. Now, capturing a moon as it transits the precise point of opposition to cover its own shadow is contingent on luck, and even a slight time discrepancy of a few hours in either direction, you'll see the moon's shadow precede it before opposition and then follow it after opposition. There's a perfect example of this on the 4th, which is just after opposition. We'll see the moon Europa chased by its own shadow, and they'll almost appear to touch. Then on the 6th we have the fiery moon Io transit while the great red spot is facing us, so that will make a nice backdrop for the transit. Then just over a week later, Io will once again transit, and you'll see the shadow of the moon is further behind now as we move past opposition. On the 17th, Ganymede just gets in there with a short transit, but the interesting thing to look out for is its shadow following late behind. I find these transits really help to visualize the three-dimensional nature of our solar system. One last one to mention is Europa once again on the 21st, and this time the great red spot is very nicely placed towards us at the start of the transit. On November 9th there will be a daylight lunar occultation of Venus. This phenomenon occurs when the moon passes in front of Venus, causing the planet to disappear behind the lunar limb and then reappear about an hour later. It'll be visible from Europe, Western Russia, Greenland, Africa, Asia and Svalbard. To get the exact timings, download the free planetarium software, Stellarium, which I'm using for this video, or you can use inthesky.org website to generate the times by entering your own location. At dawn on the morning of the occultation, the moon will rise with Venus and appear as a 15% waning crescent. Venus will be very bright at magnitude -4.3, easily visible to the naked eye. The planet will be a 58% gibbous phase, easily visible in backyard scopes. But don't worry if you don't have a scope, it'll still be great through binoculars as the wide field of view will help you to locate Venus, and you'll enjoy seeing the distance between them reduce over the next few hours. As always, never look at the sun with the naked eye, especially through binoculars or a telescope. Just a brief flash of magnified sunlight is enough to permanently damage your eyesight or worse, so be warned and be careful. Watch out for the Leonids this year on the 17th and 18th. They typically produce 10 to 15 meteors an hour, and the moon won't be a problem this year as the crescent sets in the evening, leaving the skies nice and dark right until dawn. They'll appear to radiate from the constellation of Leo, but looking directly at the irradiant isn't the best practice as they enter the atmosphere and streak across the sky in any position. It's best to lay back on something like a recliner and take in as much open sky as possible. The Leonids are caused by dust particles from a comet called Tempel-Tuttle, and approximately every 33 years the shower intensifies into a meteor storm. This is characterized by at least 1,000 meteors an hour. The most notable of these were in 1966 and 1833. The next anticipated Leonid meteor storm is expected around 2035, but it's worth keeping an eye out every year just in case.